Hello again and welcome to Evolution Through Awareness. Today we're going to talk about what actually causes change. What are the catalysts for positive change in one's life? So what is today's video actually about? Well, I believe that each and every one of us, when we go through a significant change to our thinking and behavior, it is generally caused by something specific, something that I refer to as a catalyst for change. Many of us exist in a comfort zone. We've got a certain standard of living that doesn't cause enough suffering for us to want to change, but isn't quite good enough. It's enough for us to feel sort of happy, sort of get by on it, but generally, deep down, we want more. They say the enemy of the great is the good. So living in a comfort zone generally denies most people that catalyst that causes them to think differently and decide that things have to be different for them from now on. Many of us choose to exist in a semi-comfortable, anxious-like state. Deep down we want more, we talk about it all the time, we wish to improve, but yet we do nothing about it because of the state that we're in is just comfortable enough for us. So the people who are most likely to discover their catalyst for change and to be pushed and triggered by a catalyst are the people who struggle the most. The only reason that I've decided to take this journey for myself and to go out of my way to learn something different, to develop more, to understand myself better and to be more successful in life is because I went through hard times. When I hit rock bottom, the emotion around that particular period of time was so intense that I almost became desperate to have something else, to do something different. I was triggered into responding. If it had been just sort of okay and I had been sort of coasting along, then that emotion wouldn't have driven me to make a change and to think differently. There are different ways to view catalysts for change. Some you can work on right now to deliberately create, and others happen through circumstances, situations, and experiences. It doesn't really matter who you are or where you are in life. Depending on what is actually happening in your life, a catalyst may occur that may completely shift and change the way you view the world. It's important to understand that a catalyst can occur at any time in anyone's life. Sometimes they are caused by deliberate action and sometimes simply through circumstance. If you really desire more and you think there's something else out there for you, if you know you are not living up to your full potential and you just want more out of life, well then this is your opportunity to force a catalyst for change to occur. Rather than waiting for something significant to happen in your life to trigger the event, to trigger you into thinking differently and changing the way you approach life and your view to the world, you can take some action right now to avoid significant pain for the sake of positive change. So for most people who really desire something more, who want something out of life, who want to reach their limits and push them and try to find what their potential in life actually is, it generally stems from a catalyst, some kind of circumstance, event, or deliberate action that causes them to think in that way. This video is about helping you understand what those catalysts for change actually are. Because if you don't really understand them and truly get how they work, then you are simply hoping to stumble upon a catalyst for change just by chance. My catalyst for change happened simply because I'd gone through so much struggle that eventually the pain caused me to think differently and triggered a different kind of awareness in me. But if I had actually known what could have triggered that catalyst in advance, in a more positive way, maybe I could have saved myself years of struggle and suffering. So let's talk about these catalysts. What actually are they and how do they work? And how can you make one occur in your life to shift your thinking and to help you move forward and to build that better, brighter future for yourself? In my opinion, there are 5 different catalysts for change. 5 different ways that you can shift yourself from where you are right now onto a path that will lead you to somewhere much better. So let's begin with number 1. The first catalyst for change is a traumatic or life-changing event. This particular catalyst involves extremes of emotion. So what would likely cause this catalyst for change is something like a traumatic event, a life-changing experience, extremes of stress, those kind of things that exist in a short space of time, in a moment of your life, that can trigger a drastic difference in your thinking. Quite often, people who have near-death experiences are the kind of people who will change dramatically in a very short space of time. Their whole view and perspective of the world changes because they nearly lost their time on this planet. They think differently because they realize the value of their life because of how close they were to losing it. Just as a near-death experience can shift your thinking, so can trauma. Trauma can affect you in a significant way in a short space of time, triggering a difference to your thinking. Our brains can be altered very quickly through trauma. Potentially it can be negative, but it can also be positive. Another aspect to this point in relation to catalyst for change is extreme stress. Stress can cause us to almost experience trauma. And that extreme of stress and emotion, which often involves adrenaline, can reshape our thinking. We can desire something different because of that stress. The second catalyst for change is accumulation. Accumulation of knowledge, awareness, wisdom, and experience. You see, when we start to learn something, when we become more aware, or we go through experiences, maybe to do with traveling, going to other countries, or maybe we learn something about health or money or anything. Maybe we find out about somebody else's story that was inspirational to us. Maybe we just simply develop the kind of knowledge that makes us understand a particular subject better than before. As we accumulate knowledge, wisdom, awareness, and life experience, slowly but surely, the way we think about the world can change. Obviously, accumulation only works by doing something different or learning something different, or maybe even experiencing something different. But by living the same life, doing the same things, accumulation cannot work for you in relation to catalysts for change. So if you decide to go out there and learn something new, to have as much experience as you can in the world, to try different things, to go to different places and meet different people, to read and learn about philosophy, gain knowledge around particular subjects, over time that shapes your awareness. And as your awareness becomes more powerful, then you may experience a change to your thinking and behavior. The third catalyst for change is conscious habits. So habits, just like the previous catalysts, don't change the way you think or view the world or approach life in an instant. Based on studies, habits usually take between 20 to 70 days to really integrate into our thinking, to become almost like routine for us. The way in which this particular catalyst for change works is that you integrate a particular habit in your life. If you manage to maintain it for long enough for it to really become established, then that habit becomes a standard for you, a new standard, a standard that you're more likely to adhere to. But to start that habit, you need to do something different than you have done before. And to integrate a new habit, generally, you have to do it consciously. I have known people who were overweight but decided to join a gym or running group. Over a short space of time, they started to enjoy what they were doing. As they started to enjoy their new habit and they gained positive results and feedback because of that new habit, it became established. And as it became established, they created a new standard in their life. So this particular catalyst for change, the conscious habit catalyst, is caused by you deciding deliberately to integrate a new positive habit into your life. It is only a habit once it becomes really and truly established, and at that point it becomes an unconscious habit and therefore really a standard in your life. This particular catalyst can also happen without deliberately causing it to occur. If you simply think, oh, I'm just going to go to the gym, I'm going to start doing something different in my life that's positive, I'm going to try and see if I can do better at a certain thing or go further in a certain area, and then over time, without you even realizing it does become a habit, an unconscious habit, then you may reach a new standard without even realizing or without deliberately doing so. But the point of me calling it a conscious habit towards change is that it tells you that you can choose to do it. You don't have to accidentally stumble upon a new standard in your life, a new change to reach a new height in your life simply by chance. You can actually take deliberate action to cause this to occur now. The fourth catalyst for change is accountability. So how is this a catalyst for change? This method of change is very much related to the previous one, the conscious habits point that I made earlier. By being accountable, we are forced into pushing towards conscious and eventually unconscious habits. Again, using the example of going to the gym, maybe for weight loss or fitness or whatever your goal might be. You don't want to go, so you decide, I think I'm going to avoid the gym. But you've told your friend, and your friend calls you up and says, come on, let's go. They've made you accountable. Maybe it's your friend, maybe it's a trainer, a coach, maybe it's someone in your family. But they push you and drive you to take correct action. The pressure of accountability can cause us to push forwards towards an unconscious habit. We may not want to go to the gym. We may not want to do a course or finish the course or complete some study. We may not want to have a particular kind of experience. But when we allow somebody to keep us accountable, when we have somebody there to push us, to pressure us, to help us move forward towards making that habit unconscious, then again, through conscious habits leading to unconscious habits, which eventually lead to higher standards and integrated standards into our life and into our thinking and behavior, we have again reached another level really caused by the conscious habits catalyst, but pressured and reinforced by the point of accountability. So remember, by being accountable for your actions, by allowing somebody else to make you accountable, you can move your habits forward and eventually change your life. The fifth and final catalyst for change is the one that changed my life. It's the one that triggered me into having a different approach to life. And this particular catalyst is utter hopelessness, worthlessness, and constant failure. Now, this particular catalyst is somewhat related to the first point and the first catalyst for change, which was the high stress and traumatic event. Of course, it's extremely stressful to go through a period of time in your life that feels utterly hopeless. This particular catalyst is one worth avoiding, because generally speaking, hopelessness and worthlessness doesn't happen overnight. It usually involves a long period of time where you struggle and you suffer and you don't enjoy your life. Although it wasn't exactly true that I didn't enjoy life throughout that time where I was struggling, but I always had that problem in the back of my mind, trying to get that career to happen, trying to move forward. And unfortunately, when you get knocked back from things like that, it affects who you are, because your identity is wrapped up in being acknowledged as a decent person, as somebody of value with something to offer. Although I don't recommend this particular catalyst for change, of course, it's one of negativity. It's one that will make you feel horrible because it's based on hopelessness and not feeling like you have any value and being confused and lost in this world. The truth is, maybe you were just like me. Maybe you are still in your struggle. Maybe you have already been struggling for several years, and it's time for that change to occur right now. It's time to make your battle and the feeling of hopelessness that you have had your catalyst for change now, in this moment. The problem with this particular point is that it will continue for as long as you allow it to. I allowed it to continue for around 5 to 6 years, where although I was still enjoying some things like traveling around the world and just seeing friends and doing the basic things, one part of my life was struggling. One part of my life was well behind where I wanted it to be, and it was completely affecting who I was and how I felt about myself. So if this point is relevant to your life, it's time to let it be triggered. Make it happen. Cause it to occur. Don't just continue to exist feeling hopeless about one particular area of your life. It doesn't matter what it is. Maybe it's money, careers, maybe it's about relationships or health. Whatever it might be, don't allow it to continue in the direction it's going, because it will not end until you cause this particular catalyst to take shape and to make that difference in your life. So remember, any one of those points can help you change your life, to help you think differently and to change the course and direction that your life is currently heading in. So again, those catalysts were: number 1, a traumatic or life-altering event. Number 2, accumulation of wisdom, knowledge, awareness, and life experience. Number 3, conscious habits. Habits you develop consciously, which become unconscious and become a standard in your life, causing you to reach another level. Number 4, accountability. So accountability allows you to force a conscious habit to reach an unconscious level and become a standard in your life. It is a support for that third point. And lastly, utter hopelessness, helplessness, and failure. Something I don't recommend, definitely not one of the more positive points, but one that you can force right now to be triggered, to trigger you into acting differently, to being different, to thinking different and behaving differently, making different choices and decisions that will influence the direction of your life. The main point I want you to take away from this video is that the catalysts that cause change in our lives, that shift our thinking and help us to move in a different direction, a better direction in life, don't have to be accidental. They don't have to be negative. You can take deliberate action right now to cause a change in your life. So out of those 5 points, my advice is to focus on 3 of them. The first one and most important one, I think, is accumulation. It is positive. It involves developing yourself, learning more, getting out there and experiencing life. And through that knowledge and experience and the awareness that you gain through accumulation, you can change your life and the direction that it may be headed. The other 2 points that I would recommend, of course, are the conscious habits and accountability, both of which are positive and can be deliberately integrated into your life and acted upon to cause a positive shift to your thinking. You can make a choice right now to do things differently, to improve your life, and to make this particular video the piece of awareness that is the catalyst for change in your life towards a better, happier, healthier, more successful and brighter future. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you again next time.